They shall have their license revoked after the appropriate hearings with the board. It allows for civil action to recover damages from injuries suffered as a result of violating this section before the latter of the date the person reaches the age of 30 or within 3 years from the time the person discovered the injury or damages. And the last thing is it allows a healthcare provider to conduct services at any time to assist a patient in detransition from a drug or hormone. That's what the bill does, Mr. Chairman.
Any members have any questions? Do we have anyone signed up to speak in the public? I see Representative Raymond has her hand up. Representative Raymond, I recognize you, please.
Thank you.
Would you please turn your microphone on?
Representative Meade, I need that one more time, please.
Okay.
Same.
The language that was used in here is the last 2 pages, really, 3 pages. And this is a much more condensed version of House Bill 470. It does not have the extensive definitions and those things in it. This is the South Dakota model that is very similar to some other states that have used it. Section 4 says no healthcare provider shall perform surgery on a minor for the purpose of changing their sex, shall not administer puberty blockers or hormones for the purpose of changing a minor's sex, exempt surgeries for those diagnosed with sexual development disorder. If a licensed healthcare provider violates the section, they shall have their license revoked after the hearings with the board, proper hearings with the board. Allows civil action to recover damages from injuries suffered as a result of violating this section before the latter of the date the person reaches the age of 30 or within 3 years from the time the person discovers the injury or damages. And then the last thing is it allows a healthcare provider to conduct services at any time to assist a patient in detransition from the drugs or hormones.
Representative Wilner.
Thank you. This is a lot to absorb very quickly, and I'm doing my best here. Can you let me know what medical or mental health organizations you may have, and also have you consulted with parents of transgender kids or non-binary kids?
We've had all these discussions on the floor. It's the same discussion as 470, so whoever was talked with in 470 was talked with us in this one.
Any other members seeing recognition?
Can I just clarify?
Go ahead. You have a brief follow-up?
Very brief. I think I remember those discussions and that there really was no consultation with mental health professionals or with trans families. Is that so? No subsequent conversations have taken place in that time.
Actually, I think if you watched the committee or were in the committee, you would have seen the testimony from certain doctors and certain mental health professionals. So yes, there were some consulted.
Thank you.
I have a question from Representative Bojanowski.
May I speak on the bill?
Please proceed.
This additional language in Senate Bill 150 goes against the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics. How can you change what's guidelines and guidance by our preeminent medical boards? And I mean, even to the point of not allowing a child to have puberty blockers. I just don't understand.
I think that, as you saw also in testimony on the floor and in committee, that there is evidence that this is harmful to children. And that's our job, is to protect children, and that's what we're doing here.
We do have a follow-up question from Representative Raymond. I'll remember when we are on a time constraint.
Thank you. I have a question about the very last page, the weaning off of medications that young people are on already, approved and prescribed by a mental health professional and a medical doctor. In a previous bill, it said there was I can't remember, 6-month period or something of weaning. This one says that a healthcare provider may institute a period during which those medications can be systematically reduced. So there's no specification of that period, correct?
That's correct.
And then
It's
how would a doctor or a patient need to approve that?
that we've left that up to the medical professionals in this. They can approve it on their own, and they can, whatever they feel the diagnosis is and however long it takes to get that person off of that is what they can do.
And to clarify, they'd be able to continue writing prescriptions
If it is for the purpose of
course of-
detransitioning,
in the
yes.
course of treatment.
Yes.
At this time, I see no more members with questions. We do have some citizens that have signed up to speak. There are 3 citizens who have signed up. I think they're all going to speak against Senate Bill 150. And if you all could come up at the same time, I think that will speed up our process. We have Chris, I believe, is Hartman, Emma Curtis, and Mason. Is it Chi or Chu? I apologize. Okay. Would everyone make sure your microphone has that green light on bright, have it pulled up closely to you? Will you identify yourself for the record, then I'll administer the oath?
My name is Emma Curtis.
My name is Megan Chernoff.
Chris Hartman.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So for the sake of time, we're going to limit each of you to 3 minutes, please.
I do.
I do.
Friends, Chris Hartman, he, him pronouns. I cannot believe that I am back here. How dare you all? Cheap 11th hour tricks because you cannot get this done any other way. You all will have spent more time debating transgender children and their rights and their parents' rights to obtain the life-saving medical care that they need than childhood poverty, than housing insecurity, than disaster relief in this session combined. The only things that will come close to the time you spent on this is maybe sports wagering, maybe Senate Bill 5 last night, nothing else. This is the most pressing issue in our Commonwealth right now. Denying parents' rights to obtain medical care for a population that is less than 1% of this Commonwealth's entire population. How dare you? You're going to kill kids. Their blood will be on your hands. Shame on every one of you for doing this. Overruling parents' rights. The party of small government, reaching further into people's personal decisions than I have ever seen before. And all of your studies are junk science. I've sent you a dozen U.S. studies, not Swedish studies, that show the medical effectiveness and the life-saving care that this is. And this is what you're going to spend your time doing on your last working day of the legislative session. You will be judged. You will be judged by your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. They may love you, but they will speak in whispers and with shame about the damage you did to them and their friends. History will not look kindly upon you. You will be judged by history. You will be judged by Kentucky voters, 71% of whom oppose you doing this. You will be judged.
Whoever's next, please proceed.
Hi, my name is Mason. I'm a trans.
Mason, is your microphone turned on the bright green light?
Hi, my name is Mason. I've testified before in front of you all. I just wanted to talk about what I see every time I go home from Frankfurt. I have been reached out to by trans kids across Kentucky, by their parents, by their teachers, by their school counselors, by their social workers, and I hear every single day about how these kids are having the worst time of their life. Please think about a kid that you know. Think about how you would feel if a kid you knew couldn't get access to medical care and they came home and you found them dead. That's what's going to happen to parents all across Kentucky if you pass this legislation. You have waited till the last minute, and there is no more room to debate to figure out what's ethically right. This is being rushed through, and children are going to die, and I hear from them every single day. Please, I can't hear from another parent that they think their kid is going to die. I can't do it anymore. Please, please don't pass this.
As you all probably know, I have also been here testifying. I have been here following this bill, 470, in all of its myriad of Frankenstein horrific forms. I was here until 11 o'clock last night watching the floor go back and forth because there is no consensus within the Republican Party on whether or not this is the right thing to do. I can tell you, based on the consensus of the entire scientific and medical community, what you are doing is wrong. You have heard from detransitioners who have experienced horrible things. I'm not going to deny that. You have not heard from a single Kentucky detransitioner. Except for right now. I detransitioned. I detransitioned when I was 18 years old because I was ashamed. I was scared. And I believed that I was going to be on the receiving end of violence from those around me. And it is terrifying now to think that kids like me are going to be sitting and receiving violence from their government. I did not detransition because I am not a woman. Clearly, I've been able to successfully retransition. And guess what? After I detransitioned, I attempted suicide. These aren't statistics. These are people, and I am a person sitting before you. I have been in many of your offices, and you have told me personally, this bill goes too far. And it is utterly, utterly infuriating, shameful, and embarrassing to be here at the last second as you try to shove this through. The Swedish study that you keep referencing, its own author has come forth and said, this study has been misinterpreted. It is not against gender-affirming care, and that same Swedish clinic still offers and recommends gender-affirming care. You've heard from the American College of Pediatricians. Guess what? They're not a medical organization. They are a lobbying group. They were founded 20 years ago to fight gay adoption. You are going to take the words of out-of-state lobbyists over the words of every single medical organization in the world, including the Kentucky Medical Association, and you are going to put providers in a position where they can either provide the ethical standards of care to their patients or become a felon. Shame on you. There is no excuse. This is reprehensible, and I can guarantee you right now, if you pass this, this will go down in history. You will be on the wrong side of history, just like those who voted to keep things segregated against black people. This is wrong. For those of you who vote yes, honest to God, may God have mercy on your souls. I genuinely cannot fathom why we are still here debating this. And guess what? I'm going to take a second and say to any trans kid out here watching this, this is not how your government should work. This is not how your government does work. There are people here every day fighting for you to be seen as you are, to be respected, to be loved, and to have a place in this Commonwealth. And this Commonwealth belongs to you too. And for the love of God, I know one day I will see you sitting up here instead of these people. Shame on you. I would thank you for your time, but I am honest to God so embarrassed, ashamed, and for the first time in my life, I wish I was not a Kentuckian.
Mariah, call the roll.
Representative Baker?
Yes.
Representative Baumann?
Yes.
Representative Bojanowski?
No.
Representative Brown?
I'm going to explain my vote briefly, please.
Please proceed.
Testimony yesterday and today, last night, late last night, my vote is no, and I cannot fathom doing what we're doing. I was walking through the halls last night as I was going to my office, and the 18 of us that voted against this bill, 471, we were called all kinds of things, and there has to be a level of respect for all sides and all opinions in these discussions. And I was quite honestly offended but I kept walking and walked into my office because I did not want to have a confrontation, verbally or physically, with colleagues of mine on the House floor. I am not a derelict. I am not a person that does not care about people deeply. All of us, regardless of which party we're from and what our ideology is, and to be called something that I'm not was not kind, and it was not good for me. But I kept walking, and the people that said that are some people that are on the floor across the hall from me, and it is really not beneficial to call folk names. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Emily Callaway?
Yes.
Representative Josh Callaway?
Yes.
Representative Decker?
Yes.
Representative Doan?
Yes.
Representative Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Lewis?
Yes.
Representative Massaroni?
Yes.
Representative McCool?
Yes.
Representative Rayburn?
Yes.
Representative Rawlings?
Yes.
Representative Raymond?
No. To explain my vote,
Please proceed.
this harms kids. This harms kids in every single school in this Commonwealth. Harms kids in every single school in this Commonwealth. If you don't believe me, you just don't know it. I'm embarrassed and I'm appalled and I'm scared. And I vote no.
Representative Riley? Representative Timoney?
No.
Representative Truitt?
Yes.
Representative Weber?
Yes.
Representative Wilner?
No.
Chair Tipton?
Chair votes aye. With 16 aye votes, 5 no votes, and 0 pass votes, Senate Bill 50, as amended by Primary House Substitute 6, is passed. We do have a title amendment.
Motion on title. Second.
Motion second on the title amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Title amendment passes. The meeting is adjourned.
We're still